Good morning, trading world. It is December 29th, 2021, 8:26 a.m., and this is my pre-market outlook. The title for today's outlook, Still Fizzling. How much of a retrace before it fizzles out? Alright, I want to share with you a saying that I've heard over and over during my career. And that saying goes, tops are a process and bottoms are an event. And basically what that means is that when we get to a top in the market, it's not a one day we hit a level and never come back and see it. It's a process. We hit that level and we back off of it and try to get up the energy to bust through it again, and we bounce off of it maybe 2 or 3 times, who knows how many times, but it is a process. It's not a one-time event. Now, on the other hand, bottoms can be that one-time event where we hit a certain level and boom, we reverse, take off, not to see that level again. That can happen on the bottom. Now, I say that to just remind you where we are. It is my belief that we are in a topping process right now. I have said for a while that the only thing holding the market together right now are fund managers' greed for bonuses. They figured out what mega market cap stocks to buy while getting losers out of their portfolio. I don't think this will or can continue until the new year. After the 3rd or 4th of January, the market may have a rude awakening. And the reason I say the 3rd or 4th of January, usually the 1st through the 3rd are when new fund flows hit, where fund managers get this influx of new cash that they have to put to work, which is why you always usually see a trend day or good up day somewhere between the 1st and 3rd of each month. So, technically, we have the setup of a lifetime looking at the bearish divergence building on the daily time frame. Let me bring that up. All right, I brought up a daily chart just to show you this huge divergence that has been building for some time. If you look back over here and look at your RSI and see how oversold we were, overbought we were here. Now, look here. We've made a new high, but look at the RSI. That is a bearish divergence where we've made a new high with the RSI nowhere near where we were back here when we first made the high. And even if you want to take this into effect, because this was the next high that we made, and look what happened here. Again, the RSI didn't make it on the same strength or with as much strength that it made here. And that's a telltale sign that we have a bearish divergence, that we have a reversal coming, as seen right here going into it. With that bearish divergence there, You see what happened on the RSI. So now we're looking for something similar to happen here. And you see what size of a move that was. I'm expecting this one to be bigger than the last one. So I wanted to point that out real quick. Now, let's get back to where we were. All right. Now, speaking of today, I think we have topped out on the Christmas rally, but it's hard to tell because the market is in such an irrational state right now. Rationally speaking, we should give back a good portion of the rally coming into today. However, if a lot of people are seeing the same thing and expecting a bearish day, this is very dangerous. Anytime the majority is looking for one outcome, this could lead to a short squeeze. We have three ingredients that could make this an extremely volatile short squeeze. One, low liquidity. We're sitting right at the edge of an air pocket. Two, it's an expiration day. Three, right on the edge of a bull-bear tug-a-war, where open interest is very close for either side, whether bull or bear. So those things make for the ingredients of a great short squeeze, if it happens. So, in saying that, let's get into the key levels of today. Key levels of today, starting with resistance. Jack resistance is going to be 477. I'll elaborate on the battle zones in just a moment. Queen resistance level is going to be 478. King resistance level is going to be 480 through 482. Now, on the support side, Jack support is going to be 476. Queen support is going to be 475 through 474. And King support is going to be 472 through 470. Now, we have a battle zone where things are going to be kind of fought out, and we're going to chop between until somebody wins the tug-of-war. And that battle zone on the top side is going to be 477.4. And on the lower side, it's going to be 476.7. If we break and close outside of either one of those areas, I'll take it as a sign that we're going that way for today. So going back to what I said about the ingredients to making this a very volatile day, this is basically like a boiling pot in between this 477 and 476 area, where we're going to see a lot of chop, sideways movements until we decide to break either way. So that's something to be on the lookout for. And it's very hard to pick a direction. especially right now because the market is so irrational. But this is something you have to watch for divergence, and you have to watch for things real time. It's not going to be very, there's not a lot to really say right now at this point. It's just something that kind of evolves in real time, and you have to be either set your mind one way or another and be ready to go when it happens. One thing you can do if you're not really looking to play the game is you can buy out of the money at the beginning while it builds up here. You can buy out of the money up here, 478, 479, and a call up there, or you could buy a out of the money put here. I haven't priced that as of yet, but that's just one way to kind of combat it while it builds, because we should get a break one way or another. Being that today is an expiration day, which means a lot of open interest has to come off the books. It's going to either be closed out or rolled out. So this is pretty much what I see for today, and it kind of eats at me that there's not a clear path either way, just because of how irrational I see the market being. But I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped and came down and visited the 475 or the queen and king support at some point. And then that sets it up for the 1st and 2nd of January to kind of get a pop back up into this area. So that's pretty much what I see a lot of times on days like this. I mean, it's easier for me to play it using futures, which is a majority of what I trade. On days where there's not a clear path or small moves, I usually steer clear of options. But that's what I'm looking at today. I wish I could be of more help, but this is something that you truly have to see divergence in real time and kind of jump. And another way to play it, which I have done at times, is that if we get down here and we chop to the lower side, I'll put on either call spreads or straight calls at that battle zone area. And that battle zone area on the low side was 476.7. At that area, I'll put on the calls. And then when we chop up here to the battleground top side, 477 I'll put on a number of puts, and I usually do an even number. And then as we break, I'll begin to take them off. So especially if I see some type of divergence, if I see that we're making higher lows, I'll start to take off the puts and leave the calls. But they'll be kept primarily, or I'll remove one to make it uneven. If there are 3 calls, 3 puts, and we've made a series of higher lows, then on the next higher low, I'll take off one of the puts, leaving the calls to play, and then at the break take off the rest of the puts. So that's one strategy I have used on days like this. I may even try it today, because we may get a pretty decent or explosive move. And in fact, I'm pretty much set up this way from yesterday, because I kind of saw some of this or a semblance of this taking place yesterday. So I put calls on at the top of the range yesterday and didn't quite catch the bottom of the range because I left out yesterday, but I put puts on at a low that we had earlier in the day. So that's it. That's what I see for today, what I'll be planning for. Wishing you, as always, a successful day of trading, and as always, know and define your risk, because your number one job as a trader is to protect your capital. If you don't have capital, you can't trade. So always protect your capital by knowing your risk. And again, have a successful trading day. Happy holidays.